This is not my most happy message that I have to put on, but it baffles me to know people today who can tell me every single baseball game, every baseball player that's played, every inning, what their stats are, and then they can do basketball and tell me everybody and what this guy and that guy did through his life and what it was, and football and everything. And yet they don't know that the books of the Bible are Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, Acts, Romans, 1st, 2nd Corinthians, Galatians, Ephesians, Philippians, and they don't know that they can say Colossians, 1st, 2nd Thessalonians, 1st, 2nd Timothy, and go down through the books of the Bible and say Titus, Philemon, Hebrew, James, and name the names of the books of the Bible. 1st and 2nd Peter, they're most important. And what they are, and what they say, and what they're for, and what they do. That would be the thing to know. 1st, 2nd, 3rd John, Jude, and Revelation. What Jude had to say in his one little chapter. What did he have to say? I mean, if you can know the statistics of all these other things, why can't you know the statistics of this Bible? Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy, Joshua, Judges, 1st, 2nd Samuel, Ruth, Kings, 1st, 2nd Chronicles, Ezra, Nehemiah, Joshua, Psalms, Proverbs, Ecclesiastes, Song of Solomon, and sometimes I get them turned around a little bit. But I did study them, and I did know them, and I did follow through with them and learn them. But we ought to know that, and we ought to know what each one of those books is about. Like Genesis is about the beginning, and Revelation is about the end. So we have a Bible that starts with what was in the beginning and ends with what's going to be in the end. And then all through the middle, it tells us about all these guys over here from Genesis to Malachi was Old Testament. Those folks were saved by the law. But in Matthew, Jesus came along, and he came and was crucified on the cross. And then he was resurrected, and in Mark and Luke, it tells us about it. And how he came, and he was there. And John and Acts says he died for us, he suffered for us, that we could receive what he has for us, and we can receive it. 1st and 2nd Corinthians, Romans tells us how to live it. This is how you live it. This is how you follow. This is what you do. Galatians, that's a group of people who were in a church in Galatia, and God told them how to run the church and to know how to run Ephesians, Philippians. Those are churches that God chose. Thessalonica. In Thessalonica, there was a church called the Thessalonians. If God was looking at churches today, would he write your church in a book? Or would he write that church, I had to put Ichabod on it, meaning I'm not there? There are many churches today, God has never, ever entered the door. If he stood outside and knocked on the door and somebody opened up, they'd say, who are you? And they wouldn't know him because they don't have him in their church. And there are devout religions, whole religions that are devout in their religion and their religiosity, but do not have Jesus Christ in that religion. Therefore, it's a dead religion. They will die and go to hell that follow that religion. You say, Pete, if they're earnest and they really believe it and everything, that doesn't make any difference. It's still wrong. Wrong's wrong. You can believe that you take that cap off where you put the oil in your car and believe you were supposed to put water in there, but you put water in there about 3 miles down the road, you'll find out that you put it in the wrong place and it didn't work. And that's the way with people that are following things other than salvation, saying, Jesus, I am a sinner. Forgive me of my sin. Come in my heart. Save my soul. And that's it. We're going to call it a trip. Bye-bye.